Welcome back to Tech Tuesday. I'm your host, Jordan Evans. I'm excited for today's conversation. Someone who I have not met, and I'm now shocked that I haven't met because now that it's funny, once you meet someone, then you see them all the time. And I'm seeing her everywhere in my newsfeed, going to conferences, doing amazing things, all of the fun digital content that she puts out. Today, I'm meeting with Christie Freeze, who is Partnership Growth Manager at SalesMail, also does the Good Day Senior Living with Rachel Keller, does Care with Christie or by Christie. She does everything. I'm shocked that she even has time to come on the show, and it's a privilege to have her on. So without further ado, we're going to run our intro. Christie, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so glad, as I said, like I see you now everywhere, and I'm excited for when we get to meet in person. But how do you have time?
I was literally laughing out loud when you were introducing me and saying, "How'd she even have time to come on this show?" I've always got time for you. I'm super
Oh,
excited to
I'll
be
hold
here.
you to that.
I hope to see you at Leading Age.
So, how do you become who you? Let's just like jump right into it. First off,
Let's
how do you
take
become
it
the
back.
awesomely oversubscribed person that you are? Opportunities come to those who deserve them, and you have gotten a lot of opportunities to talk to a lot of awesome people about our wonderful industry. Where did it all start?
Yeah. So I'm going to give you the cliff notes because my history in senior living is vast. I actually started when I had just turned 21. So it was back in 2012 that I got my start in senior living, and I had, started in an independent living community. That was really all I knew. I was young. I had two older mentors that I wanted to learn every single thing they could tell me. And so I absorbed all of that information. Amanda says Christy was born this way. That is true, but I have had a really beautiful journey that has led me here. So kind of fast forward, I have traveled along every scope of care. So IL, AL, skilled, memory care, right? I'm the type of person that I don't learn about it unless I'm like in it and like doing it.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then in February of 2020, not sure if you guys remember what happened right after that, but I decided to launch my passion project, which is Care by Christie. And that does stand for creating a roadmap for elder care. My roadmap is now on Amazon, so we can just add published author to that listeroo there. Super excited about that. But in 2019, before I left senior living, I was introduced to sales mail. So I had firsthand, as a sales director, experience using video, and that just like opened a world of possibilities for me. I knew when I got families in front of me, I had the best chance at building a connection, learning about them, guiding them through this process. And so that was really where it started with me for video. Stepped away from the operator side of the world to launch Care by Christie, websites out in the world, roadmaps out on Amazon. It's kind of like self-serving now, can kind of do it yourself. And the passion has come back around full circle where I love video and I love senior living. And so now I get to do those two things together.
So many things, and I did drop a link to that.
Thank
But if
you.
you just Google Christie Freeze, it'll take you on a wonderful journey of awesome content. And let's
Thank you.
talk about content because video. Whenever I was thinking about creating this episode and what the story we're telling before is video. I don't know,
Sure.
photos and video. Like I don't know. I didn't even know what video meant. I know digital content, which is a lot of that is video. And how do you create that with purpose? How do you make sure that it's not just pointing and shooting, but it's telling a story? And I think that is what you're looking to do. How do you do that?
Yeah. So I always like to share on trainings or, at sales summits, anywhere that I get an opportunity to speak and present. I always ask the question, like, what's your favorite part of your job? And more
Mm,
often than not, it's that they love connecting with their prospects, their families, those that they're, serving on this journey. And once you learn that this tool, it's just a vehicle, right? It's not changing any messaging, it's just a vehicle. And once you understand that the vehicle gets you to that connection and that trust and that rapport quicker, more effectively, in a more meaningful way, to me, it seems silly to write 4 paragraphs of plain text, black and white, faceless text on a screen when I could just make a quick 35, 40-second video that if the situation is serious, I adjust my tone. If the
mm,
situation is exciting, I adjust my tone. And who I am gets to come through way better than if I were behind words. And so
mm.
for me, it's less about like how you look on video or like obviously don't stand in front of a dumpster and somewhat be put together, but you would be put together if you were in your community selling. That's the other
Yeah,
thing I ask on trainings all the time. If somebody were to call you right now and say, "Hey, Jordan, I want to come take a tour of your community in an hour," and you had availability, would you say yes?
yeah.
You look and sound the exact same as when they walk in the door. So there's a lot of fear and resistance around showing up on camera because we're fearful and we have a level of vulnerability there. But that's what we're asking our prospects to do. We're asking them to walk into something that seems scary and overwhelming and fearful and to trust us.
Mm.
So if we can show them that they should trust us and can trust us, we're going to build a better relationship and they will ultimately have a better experience.
Yeah, I like this idea of seeing it and believing in it. So often it's hard to get your passion across in an email. It's hard to show someone that you care in a text or even a phone call because someone can't see you. Um, but seeing is believing, and seeing is believing in. And so it's easier for them to believe in you and give you that trust when they can see you. That is really something. Um, but you don't just it's not just only working with sales in the community because you also work with sales vendors, and
Yeah.
um, that can be a challenge because um, you're trying to sell something to someone that they're not always looking for it, and the exhibit hall is always it's mayhem, and sometimes it's really hard to get through your value add that you add to a community and share with them without having this long speech, or even, I mean, even this sounds too long and I'm trying to just get across that this is interesting content. So how do you do it? How do you get that
I'll tell
video,
you.
get that prospect?
I just show them, Jordan. I just show them. And so when
Okay.
people are at our booth, whether it be in the exhibit hall or potential, partners on the operator side, I'm with you. I'd rather just cut to the chase. And so I could tell you about video until I'm blue in the face. Or I could just show you on my app. And so more often than not, I literally just open my sales mail app. I make a quick video together to show them how easy it is. And then I share it to them on LinkedIn, text, email, through my CRM, however they would normally be sending it. And this is a solution or a tool that is universal. If you have prospects, customers, team members, leadership that you care about connecting with and you want them to get your message, this is a modality that you can explore, right? And so, more often than not, we are getting asked the question, how can you help me connect with my prospects and families better? How can you help me connect to my team members or to my leadership? How can you help me do that? And so, I'll just show them. And that really speaks for itself, right? It's the
Mm.
ease of use, it's the high deliverability, but it's like you said at the beginning of this, it's much deeper than that. It's human connection. And in a world full of AI and on the upward tick of that, human connection will always reign superior. It will always be the gold standard. And we get
You
to do
talk
this
about a
really easily.
you talk about AI, and if you are watching today and you haven't heard, even though we've been talking about it so much, Foresight's AI Lab is coming up soon, next year in January, early January. Get your tickets now. You can get them for 10% off using the insider code. You're right. AI will never replace human touch, and so often, poor implementations of AI are poor implementations because they lack the human touch, they lack purposeful engagement with any tool. Lack of purposeful engagement with any tool, it usually ends up the tool fails.
Yeah.
And so that's why I do believe that labs like this one right here are awesome for people to kind of engage not only with AI as a tool and in different implementations, but also other providers, other people in their shoes that are saying, yeah, well,
Oh yeah, I can't hear you anymore. I was reading your words though. See, thank goodness for video. Am I right? And while you're coming back to us, we're on the AI train here at Heart Legacy and Sales Mail. It's just something that supplements what we're doing. So, like for example, we just released two AI functionalities. That one of them is naming the video. So I make my video in Sales Mail that says, "Hey Jordan, thanks for having me on Tech Tuesday." It's going to title that video "Jordan, thank you Tech Tuesday." And so why that helps me is that when I'm getting my view notifications that you better actually do, or I'll know. I'll see that Jordan's viewing my video and I'll know that that's the video you're viewing, right? And then the other piece of it is an intro statement. So that's a big best practice that we have here. Video in the subject line, an opening context statement that's like, "Hey, Jordan, check out this quick video for you below." Now that statement is generated through AI. You don't have to use it, but it gives you some like creative idea of how to get started. I hope that bought us some time for your mic to make its comeback. I can read your mouth. That's okay. Cool. Sick jacket is right. I can't hear you, Jordan. I know. We uh Jada asked if you needed her to hop on.
one of the fun things about doing this show live is that anything could happen. And having great guests that just take up the silence and just so let's talk about the awesome content that you're putting out. So you have the Senior Living Sizzle, and you have Good Day Senior Living. What made you say people want to hear what I have to say?
This is a great question. So this is something that we talk a lot about, I think, just in general, is imposter syndrome. And so that is something that we all face and navigate. So if you're watching this and you're like, "Look at her go," just know I have struggled with this and we all struggle with this. But just like I'm asking everyone to feel comfortable and confident to show up on video when they don't feel super comfy, that is what I'm doing by showing up and doing things like Good Day Senior Living and the Senior Living Sizzle. The Senior Living Sizzle is expert led discussions on the industry's hottest topics. And although I would consider myself an expert in some areas, certainly not all of them. And so being able to do just like you and I are doing, that's one of my favorite things to do because it's just a conversation on a topic that our audience asked us to talk about. And so that is just an opportunity for us to provide value and give good information. Good Day Senior Living happened by happenstance. Rachel and I have been connected for quite some time, and we were getting together and literally having these conversations anyways. And at the end of them, we were like, "Man, that was good. We should have recorded that." And that happened enough times where we were like, "Well, let's just start recording them and see what happens." So we've done that and we're getting great results and great feedback. And it's really just sharing good news within our industry. Um, this is something that I learned. I was just watching Matt Reiner's Tech Tuesday earlier, and he said business with a soul. And that's something that really stuck out to me, because this is another mission that I'm on, is to like shift this perspective on a different, bigger scale, right? It's not people even now, like I've been in this industry for over a decade and people are like, "Oh, you work in a nursing home?" Like it's 2024 and it's not just long, dark, scary hallways of nursing homes. There's so many options and so many resources that I feel really passionate also about educating people on you have a vast array of options to choose from. I'm not super invested in what you choose because I can't decide that for each and every family that I work with, but I can give you the tools and the resources. And now you can go be a confident advocate for yourself and your loved one.
We all know that ageism is a lot of the reason for a lot of these things, which is why my co-founder and I started Art Against Ageism. Is for that very reason, to change perception so that people don't look at nursing homes as like these sad places. Um, but where life happens, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Life happens here, and we talk about that all the time. Um, what was your catalyst moment for
I read your words, and what was my catalyst for starting Care by Christie?
What was your catalyst for starting Care by Christie?
Okay, yeah. So that was after I had definitely walked along every scope of care and started to notice that two things. The first thing, my favorite part of my job was that a family would walk in and they would just like unpack their whole life story. And my job was to like filter and organize what they've just told me and provide them resources as a result. That wasn't always the community I represented. And so that piece of it, I really, really loved. I used to joke that I was a bad salesperson because if what you were telling me didn't actually match where I represented, like no hard feelings, but you should probably go talk to XYZ down the street because I'm so well versed in what they offer. They're going to be a better fit for you. So that was kind of like part one of it. The other part of it was that I didn't even know a pandemic was around the corner, but that is something that I look back on, and that was like the most pivotal, couldn't have worked out better for me if it tried moment. I had intended on doing like in-person workshops and keynotes and, being in front of financial advisor clients and real estate clients and all of these people that I know have aging loved ones and just simply educating them. And then a month later, a whole pandemic happened, and the world was like, no, girl, you can go virtual for that. And I was like, all right.
But that was the time because everyone needed video right at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I had already had like a little taste of it, right, in my sales director role just a year prior. And even in launching the passion project, I used video every step of the way to thank referral partners. If you sent me a referral for Care by Christie Consulting, I would send you a video that said, "Thanks, Jordan, for the referral. I'm going to go introduce myself to that family." And then that's what I would do. And so you could start to trust as a referral partner that every person you sent me was going to get an introduction video from me and let them know what to expect. And then I'm also going to report back to you how that went. Thanks so much. Awesome. Right. And so to me, it's just, I didn't just like start slinging video one day and now it's just ingrained in my core. I've had to practice it. It's something I've had to find my way and find my best practices. But that's why now I feel confident in sharing those with people. I've kind of done all the hard work. Now let me make it really easy for you. And sales mail is just the easiest tool to do it. You could sure take a video on your phone and send it, but is it going to get delivered? Is it going to come through your email looking professional and polished? Probably not. Are you going to get the tracking and analytics? Probably not.
It is important to have a quality tool to you can't just put out content without it being edited,
Yeah.
um, or without even making as we are struggling with right now, with
You're
having
doing great.
audio.
You're doing really great.
Last question I have to ask is what's next?
What's next? Ooh, I wasn't prepared for that, Jordan. I feel like I am so ingrained right now in just first of all, I always encourage everyone to stay in the present moment, and so that's what I'm doing right now is just trying to take it truly day by day. We have so many great initiatives happening here at Heart Legacy and Sales Mail. Leading Age is coming up, so I'm super excited to be at that show. I'm hot off the tails of, Smash just happened, and so that was really great. Um, But yeah, just continuing to show up. It's like my greatest mission right now to connect really everybody, but specifically person-centered sales teams that care about communicating with those people that they're serving. I want to connect with them and show them the possibilities of this so that they can make a greater impact in the lives of those that we serve.
Love that person-centered, not just in name of how we care for our residents or even our team members, but
Yeah.
everyone, every aspect of our business.
You chat to me and then I'll say it. I'll host and co-host. That's all right. I will tell you one quote while you're doing it. Okay, so this is from the book called Rehumanize Your Business. I've been ending or opening a lot of my presentations with this, and it is that video creates psychological proximity in the absence of physical proximity.
I hope everyone can hear me now.
Yeah, we can.
And that is so say that again.
Video creates psychological proximity in the absence of physical proximity.
Mm. And that's how you create community.
Correct.
So, in the community that we're starting here, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. With all the tech issues live, we're watching this all together. Christie, thank you so much for joining our community and helping us create more psychological connection with all of our viewers and to shift this industry. We're talking about tech here every Tuesday. Next week, I'm excited to have on Carrie Albert. We're talking about the dementia darling and all of the darlings. So I'm super excited for that conversation. We're here every Tuesday. I'm Jordan. If you want to email me an idea or you're like, I just think that you need to do this or maybe quit the show or anything, any feedback, all feedback is good feedback. I'm excited to just hear from the people that watch the show. Learn more about Christie at all the things. So, like, how can we tune in? How we watch more? What can we do?
Yeah, so our senior living sizzle is actually this Thursday. It'll be at 11 Central. I can I'll comment on this feed in LinkedIn, the registration link for that. But just connect with me on LinkedIn. I try to do my best about, just sharing all of the things that we're up to and what's going on in my world. So would love to connect with you over there.
Thank you, Christie. I'm excited about this psychological connection, creating this awesome digital community. If you see Christie out in the world, just give her a tap on the shoulder and say, hey, I'm a big fan, and she'll talk your ear off. So this has been another episode of Tech Tuesday. We're here every Tuesday, 1:30 Eastern. Tune in and be a part of the conversation. See ya.
Thanks, Jordan.